Welcome back, everybody. I wish I had a cool, clever Star Wars saying, but I got nothing. How are you, Bern?
Good, man. Pretty good. Not too shabby after this last one, actually.
Yeah, if I'm sure you all have guessed it already. We're talking. I mean, it's in the title and everything. So I'm just gonna go on.
The title and the thumbnail. You know what you're clicking on, people.
Exactly. We're talking about Book of Boba Fett. Oh my God, Book of Boba Fett, episode 2, that just dropped. This week, and I will say this: it was definitely an improvement. Am I still hooked onto the show? Not so much there yet. I'm enjoying it, but I'm not looking forward to every week like I would be with like Mando or stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, where like that with that show in particular, it's like I was just waiting like every week, just like with bated breaths. Like I can't wait to see what's going on next. Here it's more of like like now after this episode, I'm interested in seeing where this goes more than last week for sure.
I feel like it's definitely moving forward in the right momentum, the right way. However, I'm still giving this a 3 out of 5. I don't know what if I gave the last one. I don't know if I gave it a 2.
Did you give it a 2?
Okay, then yeah, then I think a 3 is appropriate, just because this is definitely an improvement upon the last one. However, there's still some things I think they're relying too much on and not doing enough of. So we'll get to that in the spoiler section. But what about you, Burton? Where does this episode rank so far?
Above the last one for sure. I'd also give it a 3 out of 5, and basically for the same reasons that you did. I thought this gave me a little bit of a better reason than last week to be like, okay, like I want to see where this particular story goes, and yeah, I do think that it does. Like, although the things in the episode were cool, I hope they don't rely too much on certain aspects that of course we'll dig into in the spoilers. But overall, a much more fun time than last week.
Absolutely. But let's dive into the spoilers. So if you guys haven't seen this episode, watch it. Come on back and dive in with us. But I say let's get started. What do you say?
Yes, I'm ready to go.
Okay. I think I'm just gonna say it now. The con is that they're still relying way too much on the whole flashback thing. Just because it's basically majority of the episode, and that was like that last time. But at least this flashback was better. However, for like the current post Return of the Jedi like Mandalorian timeline right now, I like this one a lot better. How specifically when he goes to see the mayor, and I like the way that mayor is. I forgot what that alien species is called, but I thought that dude just looked so cool, just sitting there, and
yeah, it was really cool.
Basically, just telling Boba like, if you're gonna survive out here in Mos Espa and like kind of being the new daimyo, you better start realizing you're not a bounty hunter anymore. And Boba's still kind of like not saying anything, not answering it, but he's like, yeah. Like, I can feel like I can tell under the helmet, I already know what I'm doing. Like, leave me alone, kind of. But does he? I don't know, because he's already... That last episode, the whole shield thing, that was so bad. And it's like, yeah, I know. Now he's just relying on the bacta tank. I don't get the point of that. I thought it was just going to be one-off thing, but it's like he's sleeping in it now? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm guessing maybe he's just so scarred up that he has to keep returning. And I think it serves more as a plot device for... reasons to have flashbacks. Him every time he gets into the bacta tank, we get a flashback, and so I think that's just like the narrative purpose of that. I'm hoping going forward that we're kind of done with that. Like, not that I don't like this particular flashback episode. It's just a matter of like, this is kind of something we could have already like surmised. Like we already know by the end of season 2 of Mando, like where he kind of came from. That he did, of course, being alive, we know he escaped the Sarlacc pit, and then having a lot of the Tusken Raider garb and weaponry. It's like, okay, he must have been taken in by those. So it's like, again, it's kind of doing what the Solo movie did. The Solo, a Star Wars story, where it's kind of like showing us what happened, even though we kind of already know. It's like not necessary information for the most part. It's just something it just seems like they really want us to see it, which is like, you can either give or take. It's like, I'm cool seeing it, but honestly it doesn't progress the plot that I'm more interested forward.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just how Mando is like more in the current modern timeline. Like, maybe they're just using Boba Fett as like, oh, here's his past story. I don't know. it is called the Book of Boba Fett, so it's kind of going from his journey, I guess, into now, sort of. But it's just a little too much. But like I said, at least it was better. But after he goes to see the mayor and went to go see the other Twi'lek who owns that cantina, which I think they're, I don't know if it's right, but the Twi'lek who serves the mayor and then the lady who owns the cantina, I think there's something going on. I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to pull some strings for a power move or something. It's just a little coincidental that he goes to the mayor, the dude, and that messenger was like asking for tribute, and now the mayor sends him back to that cantina. It's like, there's something going on here. But we'll find out. But I did, even though this wasn't action packed, the current part, I loved the entrance of the twin huts, and the Wookiee bodyguard that they have, the bounty hunter. I thought it was Tarfor from episode 3, but doing a little digging, it's the character known as Black Chrysanthemum, who I guess in the comics and stuff, he met Boba when they were both bounty hunters, and now he's basically muscle for the hut. So basically almost like a young Boba in a way. I just thought his design was really cool. Seeing them both on the block was really neat, and the twins just sitting there on the bed and stuff, kind of like dogging him. They're like, "Nah, we'll deal with you later, but sleep lightly, Boba." It's like, oh shit! Like that's the kind of shit I'm expecting from him, like taking over the Jabba the Hutt / Bib Fortuna's control over Mos Espa, but we will have to see. I thought that scene was really well done.
Yeah, and that's the scene for me that really hooked me. The idea of that there's going to be a little bit of a power struggle for Jabba's former seat of power over Tatooine, because the way he just shot Bib and then took it over. It's like there's got to be some conflict, that kind of makes it harder for him to actually be the crime boss that he wants to be. So them introducing the element of these Hutts who have a blood right to the Jabba's throne. It's really cool. And then obviously introducing the Wookiee character who I'm not familiar with. It's a comic character like you mentioned. So that's one that I don't really know too much about because I don't read the Star Wars comics. But his design and his look is really cool, and hopefully it'll be a nice physical foe for Boba to fight at some point in the season.
Yeah, like I said, I don't read the comics. It's like, oh, excuse me, sir.
Well, I'm just being honest. As much of a Star Wars fan as I am, I'm not reading. But I feel like if I was a Star Wars
super fan, I would just be reading that as like, who the fuck are you to say that? I don't know.
I know. Did I lose my fan card?
Everybody unsubscribes from us. Like, oh man, I didn't realize there were that many Star Wars lovers here.
Just fake.
But like I said, after that, cool little entrance and that potential like foreshadowing what's the rest of the season or a couple episodes could be. The flashback this time around, I like that the Raiders were really bringing him in very Last Samurai kind of storytelling / Dances with the Wolves, where
that's exactly the vibes of the game. Lawrence of Arabia kind of too.
Yeah, he's learning to fight like they do, like the Tusken Raider in black with that stick. I forgot what that club is called. That staff, and it was just a really fun scene, like how the speed that trained speeder would just come in, basically ace a couple of them off, and he helped them out by like attacking that biker gang from before, took their speeders, and it's like, okay, this is what we're gonna do to stop the train, like, because he kind of is. That's what I love about the Mandalorian and Boba is that they're really exploring the Tusken Raiders because it's almost like. Again, this is completely fictional, so this is nowhere near the same comparison, just for those watching, but it's almost like exploring, like, Native Americans or, like, a different kind of conflict, like, if we were to explore, like, Afghanistan or Pakistan or something in the ground, like, what those people are going through, and he's kind of getting that taste a little bit, so he's like, yeah, this isn't right, this is still wrong, because they have a tribe, they're their own culture, like, but they're just being treated like targets, so I really liked that, and then the whole teaching them how to ride was pretty hilarious, just because he kept trying to say jump, and the one just kept falling. I'm like, oh, buddy, I'm sorry. Like, that's gotta hurt. Like, really, it's like, that sucks. But the whole them raiding the train was awesome. There was a lot of good stuff there, even though he has a little training staff. he still owned up, helped them get it, and I love the expansion again with this one, like how Black Chrysanthemum from the comics and the Hutts, like from like, because we've only seen the Hutts in the animated shows and stuff, and probably in the comics as well. But we finally got to see the Pikes from the animated series and like one of the big gangs of Star Wars like fiction and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool to see that, and we're seeing Boba kind of move up the ranks of this tribe. So overall, like I said, the flashback scene was really great so far.
Yeah, I mean, just to like add on to that, it plays on the tropes of again like the natives bringing someone from the outside in and sort of teaching them their ways, and then him in return teaching them a little something too, and them riding the speeders and attacking the train was a really cool sequence, like you mentioned. It was very reminded me a lot of like Mad Max, so I was like, oh, okay, this is
thinking
pretty
about
cool.
that, yeah. Just when he fell off, just mediocre.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this whole sequence is really cool. It was a nice like I said, the flashback, be damned, like this is a really fun action sequence, and when they do that, at least it's like, okay, that I'm entertained for the most part. So yeah, this whole section was really cool, and I did like seeing them take down this train, like a great train robbery, but set in a Star Wars universe. I thought that was really cool. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, and then the ending scene where he kind of goes on his walkabout and with that lizard in his face. That was crazy shit.
The brain lizard, that creeped me the hell out.
I thought it was like, so that's things in him, but then when he comes back, it's like gone. I was like, oh, that's disturbing. But I thought it was a great like metaphor of him kind of abandoning the whole revenge thing he was about with like all the Jedi and stuff. Like he's just like, no, like I gotta stop holding on to what happened with Jango, like my father/clone. And it was a pretty entertaining moment. But the ending really won it for me when after he came back with that branch, I thought, oh, that's just a stick. Cool, he earned that. And it's like, no, but they put him in all the black robes. So immediately, like, Mando Season 2, I was like, damn, there's way more behind it than what he's wearing. And I really liked that aspect of it. And we got to see him make his staff, which was really cool. So, again, so much. This is the kind of stuff I'm expecting from a show like this. Like, really expanding and explaining where he came from since, Return of the Jedi and Mandalorian. And the whole tribal dance after, where he kind of just went with it and really blended in with the tribe, was really cool to see. I thought that was a great note to end on. So it was a lot, like, again, I know I gave it a 3, but this ended on a very strong note.
Yeah, no, and I like how, like you said, it kind of like gives context to this new version of Boba. Like essentially this whole vision quest that he goes on serves as sort of like a rebirth for his character. So my gripe with his characterization in the first episode is a little bit more understandable now that he shed this like really hardened ruthless bounty hunter past and is kind of embracing like a little bit more of like a spiritual side. At least that's what it seems like for the most part. So I can understand a little bit more why he's a little bit more eager to try to settle things without conflict initially. Hopefully we'll see, his plans for doing that, like not go as well as he's hoping for them to be. But yeah, this like you said, it adds a little bit more context to the Boba that we met in midway through season 2 of Mandalorian. So yeah, I like you. I really did enjoy this like final section to be like, okay, now I understand like this version of Boba more, and I'm more excited to see where his story goes in the next few episodes.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they can keep this momentum going, just because if there's any more like the first one, I don't think I will keep going. I mean, obviously I will because it's on Disney Plus, so I could binge it whenever, but I just want, I mean, this is better. So I just hope I get that feeling of like, oh my God, I can't wait for next week kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting that I feel like if they would have dropped these two together, sort of like how they've done in the past, where they drop a couple episodes at a time for like WandaVision, and then they did that recently for Hawkeye. I feel like it would have been like a stronger premiere, if you know what I mean. Like having these two back to back as a whole, I feel like it would have been like, okay, this is a good like lead into what the show is going to be, just because there were a lot of things that were left unanswered last week that were this week for the most part. So it's like this really feels like the end to the chapter of the intro, if you know what I mean.
Yes, now that you're bringing that up, I completely see that, and I agree with it. They should just drop these first two, because there's 9 episodes this season?
Seven episodes.
Oh, I mean, we would still have 5 weeks, unless they're trying to space it out for, God knows what else is coming out this week, this year. But, anything else you want to add to this episode, Bern, or are we all good?
No, I mean, I think I've said all I have to say. I'm, again, more interested than I was last week, and yeah, I do like where they're going. If they're going where I think they're going, then I'm a lot more interested now, for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, I kind of hope. I mean, they just need to keep expanding, whether it be going into the Obi-Wan show, which I think this would blend very well into that.
Yeah.
They could bring back Darth Maul because he may not be dead. No, he'd be dead already. Never mind. Damn it. It doesn't matter. It's fine. We'll figure it out later. But
yeah, I mean, maybe expand more on a lot of the bounty hunters we saw in the original trilogy. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
But I'll just say this, that I really hope that they keep episode lengths more along this side. This one was like 52 minutes, whereas the premiere was 38 minutes. I hope for the rest of the season, I hope they continue to keep it like a little bit longer episodes, because I feel like it serves it with a shorter episode runtime.
Absolutely. But everybody, what did you think of this episode? Are we tripping, or did you guys, think, oh, okay, they're getting better, but could need some improvement? Let us know in the comments. Share us around, get the conversation going, and we will see you all next week for Book of Boba Fett Chapter 3.
Exactly, everybody. Like Rye said, let us know what you thought, and as always, be good, be safe, and we'll see you all on the next one.
Absolutely. Stay bodacious and keep on ranting.
Adios, everybody.